Okay. It takes me a second with live streaming, so thank you for your patience. Uh, this is something that I like to mention when recording, when putting your content out there, when preparing. Just do it. Don't worry about the polish. Really, I highly suggest just do it. Okay, so let's get started with our group read today. Love. Okay, so I had an amazing experience yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So I recently bought Cottage Magic Tarot just because of the box. No, I love the metallic. Look at the metallic finish. You see. Okay, so I just love that. Okay, so anyway, I was watching Divine. Oh wait, no, sorry, emeraldlotusdivinations.com. And that's Reed over at Emerald Lotus. And she was doing a box opening, and I was like, wait, cottage what? So okay, I need this deck, right? And so I got it. And something very interesting happened. So I was what group was I in? Oh god, it was my first time being there. I love cruising around meetup. Lovely people. Can't quite remember the group. Pagan Education Center, maybe. Fabulous, fabulous time. So I had this deck out. I had not yet read with it. And I pulled I let the group know this. I pulled a single card, which is my habit with the decks the first time I read with them. And it's like, I'll be shuffling. And I'll just be like, I was looking at the oh, Lord. Um, and I'll just be like, hello, how are you? So I'm shuffling. How's your day going? Whatever comes to mind. Think about hot dogs, think about chili dogs with yellow mustard, onions, and relish. It doesn't matter. It's just your intention. And if you don't have the word or the images to put behind that intention, that's okay. You don't need them. If you have a feeling, if you can look at the color purple and remember, oh, I want to do that. That's your intention. That's fine. Whatever works for you. That's how life is. It's what works for you. Not Bob, not Jane, not that bitch down the road. What works for you. All right, so I have my deck out and I'm looking at it while the group is chatting. And I started to separate my deck. Play with your deck. Because you can have a lot of fun and there's playback. It's reciprocal. So I started to separate this particular deck and I ended up getting by color. And this is just how I found the colors to work, daytime versus nighttime settings. There's no rules. There's nothing to get caught up on. I just started making piles and I got 6 piles. Now, 2 of the cards that didn't seem to fit into a pile, the Emperor and the High Priestess, because of the artwork, I couldn't quite make them fit. So they sit just slightly to the outside. So now, when I'm looking at these piles, I put them into 3 piles, no particular pile, just did it, 3 at the bottom, 3 at the top. And this is how I always read. My default way of reading is 3 cards on the bottom row, 3 cards on the top row, no questions about. No labels. Like this card is all about your pet jackrabbit. No, we're not doing that. We're just reading the card. That's just how I read. It's a very quick, easy flow for me. And I saw it here. So when I was coming up the steps this morning to come into my room to start hosting, I was thinking about the decks I'll be reading from, and I just immediately, because it was still out, I'll leave my work out from the night before, the day before, if I know I want to come back to it. I could have probably 15 tables with spreads out on each table and it would still be all actively being looked at. But I'm coming up the stairs, so excited. I love this time. I could probably do this several times a day. Maybe I should, but just shorter reads. And I was thinking maybe I should read from these cards that I have in the 6 separate piles. This is the back of the deck. Okay. Well, let's do that. So how do we want to do this? Spread creation 101. Maybe I'll call today's group spread creation. I'll add that to the title because you really can do this any way you want. There is no wrong. And I say this because when I first started thinking about I want to create my own spreads and all, I didn't know how it was nerve-wracking. I got stuck in my head. I was going into groups asking people, like tarot groups, like, how do I, like, why do we cross cards? Like the Celtic cross is a constant example. I actually don't use it. But I do, however, have so a couple of these. Like you unfold them, you get them with your deck sometimes, and they'll be, and a lot of times it'll be the Celtic cross. Anyway, why do we have this card crossing the other card? What does this mean? And they're kind of like, well, what do you want it to mean? I'm like, what the fuck is that? What do you mean, what do I want it to mean? What does it mean? There is no meaning. It's what you want it to mean. That's what they mean when they said that. You know, direct cards. No, I'm a movie type. All right, so we're gonna start. So I have these 6 piles face up, and I have the Emperor on the top row and the High Priestess on the bottom. Now, if everyone on the planet subscribes, I could probably pay someone to help me set up a card key. So just everybody on the planet subscribe, and you'll see what I'm doing. Thank you for being here today. Okay, so I am consistently being drawn to the lower left-hand corner. Now these are all face up. We're gonna give this a shuffle. Now all my cards are in the upright position. Why? Because I fucking want them to. If you want yours in reversal, go for it. If you're like, we're reading all reversals today, bitches, then just turn your uprights upside down. And then smile upside down and read with those reversals. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna do this for each pile. So what I'm doing for each pile is a shuffle until I feel like I want it to be cut. And this is usually by a sensation manias, which I don't always get. And then I'm just gonna put it back down. Because then we're gonna pull a card from it. I am, however, immediately seeing that when I pull the card, I'm actually gonna flip the pile, which is different. But I don't like doing that because I might read with the second card. So, well, all right, that'll be my automatic clarifier. A spread with automatic clarifiers. Edmund and Nicole. The glorious, wondrous, light-filled, sparkling entities over at oh shit, what's it called? I think it's Second Sunday Tarot, or that's the group of those. They're phenomenal. I should be dropping. So. They don't simply like clarifiers. It's my understanding. I will pull 27 clarifiers and a 2-card pull. So this card is called the Bowl and Opening. Nay spread. Nay, wait, nay is like what was before. So nay spread. Reversals, no. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to do it like that. So what this is gonna be is when I'll just show you. I need to write down nay. I have surrounded by a lot of items still. All right, anyway. So we're shuffling. Now when we shuffle, because we all do the same. When I shuffle, I'm not in a hurry. So I'm not in a hurry. This is a real reading. Oh, that was interesting. Split with them. Oh no, I'm not doing it. All right. And then the last pile. Y'all. Woo, these are I think I'll ask the High Priestess and the Emperor what line they want to be involved in, because that's also going to bring about some clarity energy. Although I mean, the High Priestess and the Emperor, we're talking about physical manifestation with the Emperor coming from the mind of the High Priestess, or key 2, key 4, but she had to think it for him to know to build it. That's almost like the Empress thinks that for the Emperor to build it. The Queen thinks that the internal aspect for the Emperor to present to the physical world, the external aspect. The Queen must develop the thought for the Emperor to execute said thought. It has to start with the feminine, the internal. You do whatever you want with your part and your belief systems. So at least it is today. Tomorrow, or later this afternoon, change. The High Priestess, however. I mean, she's traveling the realms that we dream about, or can't even begin to understand. So those energies are very different. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So what we're going to do now, let's ask the cards. So again, I'll just, whatever the sensation I get in my hands is, and I might not even understand it until I do it. Do I have a question yet to understand how to utilize the Emperor and High Priestess and cards? No, I'm hearing no. I'm also clear out of you. So no, I don't. So we'll wait on that. I do want to start with my lower left-hand corner because I keep seeing it in my head. Do I have a question for the lower left corner? How are you? And who am I asking? The deck. I'm asking the deck, how are you? And the deck's response can be, I am like this because the weather, my attitude, the table it's sitting on, the other dimensions that it is also being read in, right? Here's in the future when the echo of this message is reached. All right, let's see what we have. Hello. We have the devil. You get to decide. Oh, this is exciting. Edmund and Nicole. I gotta call you out. I don't remember. All right, so we have the devil card, which is a very interesting card in this deck because there's no in the lovers, in the Hierophant has acolyte, the lovers have it's certainly some kind of bonding. And then the devil, we have the sister part of the lovers, but we see these people with chains and collars. It looks like it's this stylized stuff, but anyway. Fetish. So the devil card here, and this is our hello. And I also was saying this response depends on the weather, the way I feel, the surface that the cards are laying on, other dimensions. It is your choice what to believe the card is saying and how they're saying. You also don't have to stop with the hello. If you're like hello, and you pull a card and you're like, oh, this seems like this would actually apply to something else. What? Go with it. Let's flip. So we still have this pile. I bet you can't see it. I'm picking it up. Now we're gonna look at what was on the bottom. Now some people do read the bottom card. I don't, but because of what I was seeing in my head, the way to do this, it's so screwy. We flipped the pile after we pull our card. So we have flipped the pile. We're still holding our card. And we have the King of Teacups, the King of Cups, and the Devil. Look at them. I think they're getting ready for the same family reunion. But this bitch needs to ride. Why would you put yourself? I've seen a thing like this before. Why would you surround yourself an island into yourself? This is like the King of Cups and the Chariot energy. Because in the RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith Chariot, the person is actually embedded in that vehicle. They are the chariot. It's not that they get on and off of it. They're in the cement, the box. And this is like that, but this person, while they can probably get away from this fixed situation, where are they gonna swim in those heavy ropes? Do they have a boat nearby? Is this actually a little ship? There's a motor on the back, and this what looks to me like this heavy cement slab is actually mobile. They can move around. Perhaps it's saying that all of this fire energy from the devil is utilized in the heavy water card, and they're going to burn away all that water. They're going to empty the seas so that we may walk through the sand. So the hello of the devil. Why is this the word? The hello of the devil. I can't even read that. Is it? Wow, sorry. Like, share, subscribe, and all. Can't help. Oh shit. Okay, let's look at their hands. So the devil. If this backwards, like when I do yoga, it is off to my left and my right. His hand's like this. Okay, so his right hand is pointing down, and in his left hand we have live long and prosper. And no shit, this is a Judaic symbol. I want to say mantra, but I don't know if that's okay right then. It's a Judaic hand gesture. And Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, this is real. This is like true. Who played the character Spock, who is a half Vulcan, half human on the show Star Trek. So in TNG, wait, that's the next generation. In the original series, TOS, Star Trek in the 60s with Kirk and Spock and before. Um, the first time that the character Spock meets with a Vulcan ambassador or emissary, he knew as a character, as an actor, that the character should do something significant. So he adopted a hand gesture that he knew from attending services with his grandfather. At least one in particular that I read about, where this is a hand gesture used. Now we see this hand gesture in the Devil card in the Major Arcana of Tarot, created in 1901. So, but Judaic law certainly predates the tarot, biblical tarot, no like that. So anyway, when we look at that, the Devil card, when we look at the hands that my sidetrack into Star Trek, I love Star Trek. They're similar. They don't have to exactly mimic each other, but they're definitely similar. But what are they choosing to hold? So the king in his right hand has a teacup, and the devil has a flaming wand, torch, water and fire. And then in the other hand, the left hand is the king holds a trident, and then did I do that backwards in my head again? Oh, did that's his right hand. I'm so sorry, I get right and left mixed up. His right hand is a teacup for the king. This is so hard in my brain to switch right and left. And then the devil, it's the symbol for the one and prosper. But is also a Judaic symbol, and I don't know what it means within Judaic for Judaic system. So the left hand is the trident held by the king of teacups and a flaming torch by the devil. Yeah, they don't almost sense when I have backwards. Yeah, reads do take a while. Okay, so we did pull the devil card. Oh, there's a 5 biscuits. Goes below that. This is our hello. Well, we could read the whole spread as a giant hello and see how the cards play out as we read through them. Okay, let's do that, because all I'm seeing, what I'm really seeing is how fire will burn away the water. Well, why would I want to do that? But maybe it's saying that the hello to the deck is the elements that may seem ill-dignified, because are we reading dignity? Maybe we're reading elemental dignity in this spread. Some elements are dignified and some are what's called ill-dignified. It has an effect on the energy of the card. Water and fire are ill-dignified. So when we put fire and water next to each other, like we just did, it tamps down the energy of those two cards. And those two cards, we have high level. We have the devil and the king. So we're tamping down the energy of both the devil and the king in the spread. Let's see what we get next. So we're getting another teacup for our original card. Okay, so we started with the king of teacups. We pulled from the top, and we get the 6 of teacups, which is adorable. And then we flip it, and we get the 3 of quills, or the 3 of swords. So this is our hello. The 6 of teacups clarified by the 3 of quills. Well, it's half the amount. Hello, why would I want to? Okay, now the cards are saying something along the lines of, oh, it could be the style of reading with this deck, which does make a lot of sense, because to me it's very comfortable to read. It's cute, like a little cartoon, you know. I don't think that a scary clown's gonna jump out, burst out of one of those windows with a bloody knife, you know, in the next card. So I'm pretty comfortable to keep pulling cards. And then I get the 3 of an absolutely adorable, I'm gonna rip your fucking heart out of your chest. So cute. So this deck can deliver really strong messages, but it doesn't have to be a scary image that does it. So maybe the deck is saying, oh, we've got shared imaging with that. So this is why I do not flip the deck to read the cards, because there's always another card visible and I almost keep stop. But I'm gonna stop. So the deck is saying you are learning willpower. You're not continuing to read. And you're also, I'm trying to share with you the deck is saying the idea that we can read some hardcore topics with people and look absolutely fucking adorable. Yes, okay. That is like drag queen reading for kids. They look fucking awesome. I mean, my God, I can't even imagine the hours going into putting yourself together to look that polished. And then want to go spend your time with kids. Probably not me, maybe. I did that. I had five of the I had five. Reading my fucking kids. Yeah. All right. So thank you, Dorothy. All right. You know, it's a little surprising that I even brought that topic up. I think this deck is going to be a little edgy, a little in your face. All right, let's see what the next card is. So let's go ahead, and I'm leaning into the deck is also, it's like a discovery session on this is what I like, this is what I might like. Okay, let's see what it means. The Three of Biscuits. It is absolutely, I'm correct. I'm fucking right. I'm correct. The Three of Biscuits, I love it. This chemicals are biscuits. Oh my God. Why is that so funny? They actually look like Linzer cookies. I love Linzer cookies. Linzer cookies sans powdered sugar. Okay, so Three of Biscuits, and I. What's that so funny? Oh, okay, I'm gonna sip my iced chocolate milk because I love it. But what? Oh, I'm talking about maybe the deck is talking about what I like, what I like here, what I like there. I'm purposely not saying what I don't like because we're not going there. We're saying words for this one. And then I get the Three of Pentacles, which is about teamwork, right? And it's teamwork. It's not, I gotta be your fucking bestie. It's like, I could hate your guts and have nightmares about you at night, but I'll show up and I'll work with you because we got the same goal. And that's the important reality here. You might work with complete shitheads on anything, including yourself. You might not like yourself sometimes, but you share the same goal, right? Let that be the guiding light. Not let's bury what we feel. No, feel it. It's probably healthier to feel it. But should it become a sense of overwhelm and you're no longer able to function at your task, it's an alert that you need to seek. I probably exterior means. Speak to a friend, pull cards, a therapist, someone that you trust. Whatever avenue suits you the best in that moment. And if you're using AI, you might want to ask AI to also present a counter viewpoint on what it's giving you. AI, I have found, tends to be something of a sycophant, which I love, but always telling me I'm right is not the best way. Most of my questions are about tarot anyway, so it's opinion based, but still a good idea to get another viewpoint. Okay, and tell AI to be really friendly, to be very soft with you. Like, be careful if you don't feel good today. Kid gloves. All right, let's flip this from Three of Biscuits to Three of Candles. All right, so Three of Candles is Three of Wands. Pretty straightforward. I like the dress. That looks super comfy. And what I am thinking is that those layers that we see in her dress are heavy. They're not that thin, ridiculous material, but I mean, my God. You even think about water and stinging your skin. It's ridiculous. But this is heavy material. So it sits comfortably on the skin and it doesn't blow up with the breeze coming off the ocean. Yes, I went right there. So we have the Three of Candles and the Three of Pentacles. This is amazing for the deck saying, not only is it that we're going to work together, because we already talked about it being a little edgy here, we are going to understand that the ways in which we work together are found every day. We're not limited. We don't only have one opportunity in this life to make a single choice. We get that every day. And it's really, really, really important. This is definitely going to be a very edgy deck in a beautiful way. That I understand that people's choices are not the same as mine. You know, maybe one of their choices is, do I eat today? Or how do I not hurt my child today? They're valid questions that they don't have the answer for. So when that is something, two things, will I eat today? And how do I not hurt my child? When those are the overriding thoughts, that is everything about their reality. It is not going to feel like, most likely, an elevated state. It's going to feel like a depressive state 24/7. That's where they're coming from. That's their reality. I need to remember that. I need to be cognizant that we all have a different way of looking at the world, and we're all living in the world differently. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with reading the deck. I'm so happy we're doing this. I love the way I've set it up too. I can show you. When I flipped it, it stayed like this, and then just slightly offset, I've got it like that, and that's how it looks like in front of you. You do whatever you want, whatever you want. You can collect the cards and put them right back in the deck as soon as you're going to read them. It does not matter if it's you. All right, so let's go to the next deck. Flash. Okay. 5 of Teacups. Fuck, we are water heavy. Okay. Oh, and we haven't even talked to the High Priestess or the Emperor yet. 5 of Teacups. I think they came upon these cups. I don't even think they have anything to do with them. Oh God, that is mean. So like this, don't cry over spilled milk. Okay, well they're not. So if this is me, right, in this card, let's say it is. I'm heading to this incredibly comfortable cottage in the background. That looks pretty nice. I'm ready. I'm good. Let's go, right? And I come across these 3 cups that are smashed, and then these 2 that are upright. And I'm looking at these cups for like a nanosecond. And I'm like, huh? That's it. That's the level of thought I give it. That's it. It's done. It's happened, and we cannot recreate or correct the path. It's happened, right? And that's kind of one of the messages of the 5 of Cups. But explore this card as though you have no idea what's happening here. Maybe this is someone's ritual, and they have just released decades of pain and suffering. They're crushing 3 cups and leaving 2 upright. They don't want these cups. They don't want any of them. Whatever purpose these held, it has served itself. It no longer holds that purpose for the individual. Now, might I find new purpose? I'm not really a DIYer, so I seriously doubt it here. But yeah, I'll pick these up. Actually, I now have 2 teacups to add to my collection in my glorious cottage in back. And I probably would just pick up the trashed ones too and take them back and, I don't know, recycle them. If you Google, what do you do with fresh up teacups? Something like that. So this is the deck saying when we are reading for people and the topics are going to be a little bit heavier because we talked about how we are definitely capable of that. We are also going to adopt the attitude of it is in this moment. And that protects me, the reader, and it will help protect the querent, because beyond that thought of it is in this moment, like do not carry this with me when I leave the reading. That's a whole different video. It's also, you're speaking with a real human who is also having thoughts come up, feelings erupt, violently expose themselves in some cases, erupt. It is so important to remember that. Don't forget, you're with another person. I have been read for and I had a people say things in the moment, readers that, especially any stage of reading, just be careful what you say to the client, to your friend, to your family, to your bestie, to yourself when you're reading. Make sure it's something that you can back up. Don't just say it because you think it's going to sound good, or because you got so excited you got a download and you forget that the person you're talking to has been. Don't forget. All right, so, and that's going to be our Ace of Quills, our Ace of Swords. Not every thought needs to be shared. Exactly. This deck is just, oh God, goosebumps. Okay, so we're going to lay that down. Plus, it's cute. I love the Ace of Biscuits. It's like a biscuit and a hand. Or maybe no, I think it's just a biscuit. Deck is amazing. Okay. What are we gonna say next? Oh, got a star. I was just thinking about her last night. I was looking through this deck yesterday afternoon. Rather. Maybe it was, no, it was yesterday morning. Then the meetup I was in, and because they were talking about the star, I think so. I found her in this deck, and while this is very similar to RWS, it's not exact, and I like actually I appreciate the differences. I was thinking, now she is the star. RWS is Rider Waite Smith. So in RWS and Kim, right? We have multiple bodies of water. Water connects to water. Water finds water. So we have the foot right here, right in this larger body of water. And she's pouring from a pitcher into this body of water. And from this, where's my mom? Should have it right. Yeah, you know. Oh, I use this. Oh, this might be my new one. That's the one. Okay. And then this foot down here, this is a glass flower symbol. This foot down, you can scoop with it too. This foot down here is standing on land. And you can see the rivulets of water flowing outward from this picture, right? And yesterday I had this thought that she filled this with her own urine. This shit's tons of mad, and it's flowing out to the ground. The other picture. We don't know where the water originated. Do not make assumptions in cards. You can believe whatever you want to believe, right? But don't presume it to be true for every moment afterwards. Tarot is a in the moment style of divination. It's not about telling the future or recognizing what was in the past. It's seeing the multiple possibilities of the present. The multiple possibilities of the present. Whatever reading you get from the card is what's meant to be read in those moments, which is why you can pull the card over and over and get a different reading every time. This will be based on question, if there is one, and the cards, if there are any adjacent. Reality plays a part. So we have the star card. Now, what does that say to us in the theme of the spread? How are we exploring this? By not limiting ourselves ever, ever when reading tarot. Let's flip the pile, and we have Page of Quills. There's a lot of okay, we're gonna go to our holistic tarot and double check on some of the elements, but this is crazy. So we have quills and the star. Where's holistic tarot? It's usually within a couple of feet of me, so you look at everything. Alright, I'll find it. I'll find it. Okay. I get distracted. Page of quills. The star. Now the page of quills is not a water laden card. The page of quills. Oh, well, that is interesting. Okay, so the way that I have the cards set up, I told you there's three piles on the top row and three piles on the bottom row. We had the Three of Swords, the Three of Quills on the bottom. So directly above that is now Page of Quills. Read the cards however you want, okay? My mind was saying, well, what's above the Three of Quills is Page. So the Page of Quills was clarifying the star. Then the Page of Quills here ties to the feeling of the Three of Quills, but that's when we knew that we were going to be tender, or we're going to be concerned with the client, of course, when we read. I was like, oh, well, no, really? Something about the style in most people know, but don't limit ourselves. What is the style that the star we're reading? If the star we're reading is spread, what would she sit down and read? Pentagram? No, that just means make a spread. And we did start this talking about making spreads. I'm gonna say that this is actually a suggestion from the deck for us, the deck and I and y'all. We're gonna create a spread in another video, and it's probably gonna be a pentagram, except that's a lot of cards because it's the 5 points. Plus, we have to create the circle. Now we could use crystals. Okay, I'm getting off track. By not limiting ourselves in the reading, it's also saying don't limit yourself in believing that you're only there to deliver a message. Maybe you're there to go to your client. You know, the next time we meet, what if we did something a little different? What if I read for you, but we also created a spread in the second half of the hour or however long you need your client? Check it out. They can turn you down. This is an amazing deck. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean run out and get it. I mean, it's an amazing deck for me. Now, I'm going to keep that idea that the deck is giving me this energy around what we can do in the future. Like, let's have fun. I'm not so sure that that's it, right? Because the potential of the star, she's literally saying, don't limit yourself. So I'm going to move to the next pile. Now I'm going to leave that thought there. It might change, it might not. It might solidify, it might stay fluid. For now, it's there. It's an already home. This next pile might go back and only talk about it, or it might say, yes, you're correct. Let's talk about me. Let's pull a card and see. There's no wrong in tarot. The Empress. Okay, that's exactly what I meant to say, because everything about the Empress is right. But you got it. All right, so I'm immediately going to flip. The Empress is paired with the 6 of biscuits. All right, so. And she's got a teacup with it. Empress and 6 of biscuits. Give yourself everything. Why would you not give yourself everything that you want? And that can be like, oh, it's a hard one. I was about to say I want a chocolate chip cookie. Well, she does have biscuits. She's literally giving her a biscuit cookie. I want a cookie, and I don't have a cookie. Now, do I have the resources to go make cookies? I might. I should check. And if I know I don't, if I know for a fact, I don't even have a pantry, so there's no reason checking because the bigger pantry gets found in the pantry and not on the stage. Then you can skip this part. But if you're not sure, go check. Also check if you have Wi-Fi access. And this is all about manifesting. This is what we're talking about with the Empress and the 6 of biscuits. And if you don't have Wi-Fi access, get to a location with free Wi-Fi access. Now, none of this is something that is, maybe you can't do this right now. Maybe you can't do this for a month. Well, then you can't begin manifestation on that for a month. That's how it works. It's not instant necessarily. But if you understand your resources and understand that this is a starting point, one of many possible starting points, you at least have a path to travel. Because I mean, like if you want that cookie, but you gotta wait till payday, and you're like, I'm just gonna go buy a cookie. You can go buy a cookie on payday, but you still have to wait till payday. You might have to wait a week or 2 weeks. Maybe you just got paid and you've already spent. You can still manifest what you want, but you're also seeing where there's going to be a 2 week delay. Now, are there other ways to get cookies? Yeah. Can you get over to Costco on the weekend? You might need a membership. Don't spend the money on the membership unless you already have it, but they might be giving out free cookies on the weekend for samples. Right? You have a friend that bakes? Maybe not, maybe. Um, there's different ways to get the cookie. Will you get the cookie? Most likely, if you keep trying for it, you'll get the cookie. Might it take you years to get the cookie? Yes, it might. It actually might take you years to get the cookie. Will you have manifested that cookie once you get it? But yeah. And will you be manifesting thousands of other things in that time period? Yes, you will. You will be manifesting your next breath with every exhale. And that is 24/7. That doesn't stop. You are a manifestor and an alchemizer. All right, so having said that about the spread, we still have the Emperor and the High Priestess, and I'm really not sure how these are going to play. I was really, where is my, oh, here it is. It's like, where is my holistic tarot? All right, so what I want to do, this is an amazing one. Holistic Tarot by Beth Ellen. We have teacups throughout. You can go ahead and stop the video here if you're like, what the fuck? Because now we're going to talk about elements and how they are dignified or ill-dignified. Which is a fun way to read. You can read just based on anything. All right, but what I want to see is the devil. I want to. There's a star. Hold on. So she's air. So the star is air, and she was coupled with Page of Swords. That's two air signs. So speaking, they're dignified because they're the same sign, and this kind of amps up the energy of the card. You can read that however you want. If you want to read that as the message is louder, these two cards are louder in the spread. They mean more. They carry more. They carry more power. Whatever. Then it means that. If it means to you that they should be quieter because they're simply shining brighter, they should talk less. Let them talk less. Don't listen to them as much as you're listening to the other cards. Just use them as a guiding light, a background energy. However you want to read this. The elements are dignified or ill dignified. Now, I would definitely say Googling the finer aspects of this is important because as a reader, I would suggest being having as much knowledge as possible. Now, how you choose to use that knowledge is totally up to you, but there are fixed points of knowledge that we read dignified and ill dignified like this. If you want to change that structure, change it. But I would say learn it first before you change it. That to me makes sense. Okay, anyway. Okay, now let's go to the Empress. Oh, you know what? We have the Emperor. Because we're still looking to see where they're going to fit. All right, so the Emperor is fire, and the Empress is earth. And the Empress sat with the Six of Biscuits, which is earth. God. So we have earth on earth, the Empress on Six of Biscuits, which was our final two cards. Okay, let's go. So then we come over here to Five of Teacups and Ace of Clubs. So Five of Cups and Ace of Swords is water and air. Water and air are neutral. They don't really play with each other. There's just neutrality between the elements. But again, you can create what you want. So then we move down to Three of Pentacles and which is biscuits, and the Three of Candles, which is fire. So again, fire and earth are they're dignified. They're neutral, they're dignified. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm telling you how to learn it now. Now I start questioning if I'm saying it correctly. So then we have water. What would ill dignified be? Water and fire would be ill dignified, which is what we started with, fire and the devil. Wait, did I look that up? Or am I making that assumption? Is that the first thing I looked up? Earth. I didn't look that up. The devil is earth. Earth and water. Wait. So this whole spread is dignified. We don't have anything ill dignified. Because that's earth. Okay. So let's look at the high priestess and the emperor again. The emperor was what? What did I say? Fire? Did you guys see Katy Perry had the magician at the Met Gala Awards? And she wore, I only saw a picture, but she had her face covered. And I was like, oh, I'm in reader heaven right now. Katie Conn. I read a lot about that. But then I was wondering if she had any of the cards. I want to get a closer look at what card looks like. What deck did it come from? All right, so we have fire for the Emperor. So where would that actually fire isn't gonna fit. Hold on, let's see what the high priest says. Water. Oh shit. They're the ill-dignified pair. They're fire and water. Okay, hold on. So we're not adding the emperor and the high priestess into the spread itself. We're not going bump, bump, bump. Or you can. If these are ill-dignified. Okay, all right. I have goosebumps. I just something hot play. Okay, hold on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull a card and I'm gonna ask, how does this play together? Where's my deck? Oh shit, it's on front. I split it up in six. Crap. Sorry, I'm gonna read probably I'm gonna clear this. Are these all Oracle decks? Seriously? So I got this is a little bit longer because I did just get some new decks last night. Yesterday, I got some new decks. I almost feel bad opening because I have all these things. Oh, here's no, I don't want that. I want to stick with this deck. Okay, how do I use these? Let's use our clairs. How do I want to use? How do I want to use? How would I like to be with the Emperor and the High Priestess in this spread? Or with these cards in general, because I didn't find a spot. Very well. That could also be sunlight and midnight. Daytime, nighttime. Solar lunar energy ritual. Fire sign. Water sign. Shadow work. Using reversals. I mean, this is so much stuff. Where did you guys put into this? Maybe that's the point of this spread. This started out as a hello spread. And these two have letters. Oh my God, I would sit down at a table with these two. Maybe that's the point. There's always going to be ideas or nuances in any question, any experiment, any conversation that may go unanswered in the time being. But with 78 authors in enough shuffle, I think many of those possibilities could at least be explored. All right. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I was sick. I had a lot less content throughout last week, so sick totally. Think about it, but you should go shorts out maybe but this was amazing. I'm so grateful to have gone through this deck with you, and I've never done it like this. I am blown away. I love the way it looks at the end because aesthetics are super important to me. In the placement of like all the cards are working. Card cam, like, share, subscribe. Um, yeah, it's okay. Sorry, thanks for being here for this. I've never done it before like this. I feel phenomenal. And let's close it out. I'm not even sure how long we've been sitting here. Goodness, it's about an hour. What seems to be about how long I will go on for. So let's go ahead and pull a card from an oracle deck to close us out today. Excuse me, guys. Getting over a cold and the cough just seems to want to stay. So I'm going down to these are all my the whole stack of oracle decks from Friday when I you can find that content on Willow Root. Willow Root Tarot on YouTube. Anyway, so we're gonna go to the archetypes book. Okay, you know what I am gonna do now? No, I do kind of want to read the spread out like this, just so I can see it. I might take a picture. Awesome photos. But let's go ahead and pull a card from Kim. Now, if I read jumpers, I would totally be reading that. It's the bridge. So I don't read jumpers as a fool. Yeah, I'm reading this one. Okay, so we have the bridge today. Okay, hold on. I just asked the deck if what I'm going to do is actually put it back in and shuffle and see if I get it again, which does happen a lot. Not necessarily with the bridge card, but for the card that will come out, sometimes I'll be like, I've read you for the past 3 days. Like I'll pull it from the card. I think it's the fourth day, then we get a different card, and then I'll shuffle it back in and it'll come straight. So having shuffled a little different. Reach out over the spread in front of me to take the spread. Thrift stores are great for getting your furniture. Salvation Army is, but so having a good table is really important. In dumpsters, especially now that college is getting out, you get on the college property with dumpsters. Okay, we have the shaman. And this is card 16, XVI. X is 10, V is 5, I is 1. So in this specific order, it's 16. If that had been XIV, it'd be 14. Because you subtract or add. Bending. Okay, so there's the bridge, but we're not reading that one. But what number was that? That was 38. And now we're at 16. But that doesn't go on either. Okay, the shaman. Well, this is going to be our card that's going to bring our session to a close today, friend. So the shaman, keywords, the magi, the sorcerer, the medicine woman. 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study, the mentor. Second, its orientation is generously and accurately aimed towards the healing of the self, the other, and the culture, the healer. And third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world, the unseen. In this way, the shaman is the master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow. So the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. Now we just spent an hour talking about how to do that with us. The shaman can't be rushed. And I said with the cards, shuffle as long as you want. Take your time when reading. It is not to be rushed. It's a real message. The shaman can't be rushed. Working with this archetype requires study and perseverance. Think of it like brining or marinating. The content must permeate every fiber of its being. Contrary to popular belief, the shaman archetype appears in every vocation. Teachers, directors, surgeons, politicians, and poets are just a few of the faces a shaman may wear. And this says when the card is in light or balance. When light, fearless, student and practitioner. When dark, over promises, blames, hurts self and others. And go deeper. Read Black Elk Speaks and Michael Tucker's Dreaming with Eyes Open. The shaman. We are the gifted, we are the sorcerer, we are the medicine woman. Oh, all right, guys. Thank you so much for sharing this space and time with me. Which is form the next. X marks the top. All right. And I hope to see you all again soon. And, to uh, share some friends. So that, actually, it doesn't really need to be a smooth process. No, it's just something. Doesn't need to be a smooth process.